Hi, this is Tiffany with The Balanced Life, Redefine Success, Redefine Fail. And today we are going to be talking about keeping organized during tough times. And the reason for this is when things are going crazy, when the economy is going like this, when there's inflation, when there's financial squeeze in your life, it can feel like everything around you is out of control. And being able to have some measure of control in some areas can help bring down stress. So, this is going to be a really easy, really simple thing, but it's also very, very practical, and you'll be surprised how much this will help you as you start to implement it day after day. You'll also be surprised how much missing this will actually make your life feel kind of topsy-turvy. So, number one, it can be simply overwhelming during difficult or even easy times to stay on top of things. So here's some ideas. Number one, a 3-ring binder for each family member. So let me back up. I started doing this about 7 years ago. We had our 4 daughters, and then we had 2 foreign exchange students, and then my husband and I. One of our daughters is deaf, and she was attending a private deaf school in another city. And then we had the 2 foreign exchange students who had kind of some different things going on. And then our other 3 biological daughters who were living at home. One was being one had been in a school building, and 2 were transitioning from homeschooling into a school building. So there was a lot of moving parts in our life. And so what I did is I got binders for each kid, and I put their name down the edge. And so there were a few folders in there, and then some notebook paper. And I had like a schedule for each of the kids. So like their school schedule was 3-hole punched and stuck in there. Shot records, photocopies of them to have on hand, so I didn't have to go searching for them everywhere for each kid. Then we also had things that they needed, activities they were involved in, things I had to sign. In the very front of the folder, it said, "Things for Mom." And the kids would stick it in their own folder, and I knew every night to go look. So if there was a paper that needed to be signed for school, something to be turned in, something they needed to tell me like, "Mom, I need to do X on this date, can I?" Because I was driving around with these kids. We live in the country, and I had to drive them back and forth to school. I had kids going back and forth to work. I had different activities. And so sometimes it was just a matter of them doing homework while I was cooking, and then they would eat while I was gone. So they'd stick notes in there for me, and we would actually pass notes to each other within the house. That's better than text, because you see a text message and you forget about it. Having that in the folder was super duper helpful. So having papers, tasks, handouts, chores, questions, all those things. When they got allowance, I stuck their allowance in there so they would get it. Number 2, a family calendar. I think you need to have both a paper one and an electric shared calendar. The paper one was in the kitchen, and that's where I would put the meals, what we were going to have. That way the kids knew what days of the week they had to fix their own meals, because I did that once they moved into junior high and high school to teach them some life skills. What day was leftovers, all that kind of stuff. And then I also knew what meat to get out each day of the week. And then we also knew where everybody was going. And I had this really nifty calendar that my mom bought me, and it had the people across the top. And then there was like an extra column down the side for notes. And then the days were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going top to bottom. And then it would say, MTWTH, whatever, down the side. And so different people. So my husband's work schedule was here, and then school stuff was here, and then it said kids, and then mom. So everybody knew who was doing what, when, and why. But having the online calendar, I didn't like it as well, and I never put my appointments there, but my husband's work schedule was there, so it was available to everybody when we were trying to plan things. Number 3, a shared grocery list. I've talked about this in a number of videos, but I'll talk about it again here quickly. We had a Google Doc that was shared with all the kids, my husband and I. And if somebody used something up, kids always have their phone in their back pocket. If you used up the milk, you put milk on the list. If we needed eggs, if you saw we were out of peanut butter, or if we were getting low on something, or if you remembered something, or if you were at school and they needed something for the bake sale, they'd put that and then the date of the bake sale. And then when my husband or I were out and about doing whatever, we could open up and see if there was anything that we needed to grab off the grocery list, or if we need to make a trip. I'm coming home from work, and I may see, I can swing by the store and get these following things, or the kids need this for tomorrow. So that was a huge help, especially when you have 8 people in a family all moving different directions. Number 4, the envelope system and budgets. If you have not seen my envelope system, my teaching on the equation or budgeting, go to my channel and review these things. Also, incorporated into that, I had, once my kids, well, the youngest was in junior high when I started doing this, and the oldest was a little bit older before we started doing this. I wish I would have done it sooner for all of them. But each kid got $20 a week, period. And they had to pay for, like if they had prom, they had to buy their own dress, their own makeup, their own shoes, their prom tickets. If they wanted to go to a friend's house, they had to pay for gas if they were drivers. I paid for gas back and forth to school and back and forth to work. But there was a stipulation. When they were working, they had to pay a certain amount each week. And before they got their license, like we had a couple kids that we were driving and getting, they had to pay a set amount to us, which covered gas and my time because they were hiring me to drive. You may go, oh, that sounds terrible. Well, it was like $3 or $5 a shift. But it was a 30-minute drive each way. So that was an hour of my time plus the gas involved with a large 8-person SUV because we had a big family. But it also teaches them some reality to life. And that's what I was trying to teach them. Also the adults having their own allowance. Remember, I talked about that in a previous video. If you haven't seen that, I strongly recommend you look at the allowance and discretionary fund for the adults. It helped our marriage. It helped our budget. But it also showed accountability to my kids that allowance is not just about a childish thing. It's about being responsible in your spending. So I think it's done a great job in helping my kids prepare themselves for life. I think they've done better than most, and they've learned how to do some things that they might not have otherwise learned. They also made some mistakes. And so when they were younger and it didn't, kick them out on their ear when they made mistakes, it just meant they couldn't do such and such a thing they wanted to do. It also allowed them, like when we're at the grocery store and the kids are begging me for something, I can say, well, you have your own money. And then they were allowed to write their name on it. And number 5, plan family time. Don't just like, oh, hey, do you want to do something tonight? Actually make it a priority, because the things that are important to us, we make a priority. Put down your phone, put down the internet, stop goofing on your games online, whatever it is you're doing, and plan time together. Watch the video where I talked about family movie night. Look at what I talked about with emotional impact of loss on kids, and really make relationships, your kids, your family, your life, whether it's your parents or children or everybody in between, make it a priority to have family time and do something that various people will enjoy at different times. Okay, so keeping organized, organizing your family time, organizing your shopping, organizing your finances and helping your kids do the same, organizing where everybody's going and when, and organizing all those crazy things from school and sports and activities and things that can get us going. By taking control of these things, we have a much clearer sense of what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, where it's at. We're not wasting time searching for things, and we're able to be present in the moment. So I hope you've gotten something out of this. I'd love to hear your comments below, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.